So let's take a look at Python libraries for web scraping. We will be checking some of the most popular ones, and we're going to be using some of these in our hands-on tutorial. First up is requests. This is probably the most popular HTTP library for fetching web pages. It is very easy to implement, and request basically is to fetch the particular web page. And the common drawback of using requests in your project is that it cannot execute JavaScript. Moving on, there is Beautiful Soup. So this is a very beginner friendly library for parsing HTML and XML documents. It is often paired with requests to extract data from retrieved source code. Then next up is LXML. This is a very high performance fast parser that supports XPath and CSS selectors, making it a ideal choice for large documents where speed is a priority. So I think XML is actually used internally in bigger frameworks and automation tools like Selenium to get the entire page data quickly. Then comes HTTPX. It is a very new library, so as to say, and a modern next generation HTTP client that supports asynchronous or async requests, which is the plus point about it. And it makes it faster for scraping multiple pages simultaneously than standard requests. So if you use the requests library that we discussed about earlier, it's actually asynchronous support. That means if a particular request is up until it produces a response, the other requests have to wait. Then moving on to Selenium. This is the OG of web scraping and automation, and it is the industry standard for browser automation. Uh, Selenium allows for full interaction like clicking, scrolling, logins, form fill ups by controlling a real browser, though it is more resource intensive than the other methods that we have seen so far. So Selenium basically is like a browser automation tool. So in this, what happens is it actually controls a browser that you have. The browser that you want to be creating an instance of is totally up to you. Like you can use Chrome browser, or you can use Brave browser or Opera or whatever, Mozilla Firefox, if you like to use that for this kind of automation. Then comes Playwright. So Playwright is a modern automation library developed by Microsoft. It is a faster and a more robust alternative to Selenium. It also supports multiple browser engines like Chromium, Firefox, WebKit, and auto waiting for elements to load. Then comes another library, which is Request HTML. So it is built by the creators of Request itself, the library that to be discussed uh, at the first position. This library combines fetching and basic JavaScript execution in a lightweight package. So since Request was not able to render JavaScript code, this comes with a better improvement over here. So it allows to combine fetching and basic JavaScript execution. Then comes Scrapy. So Scrapy is a powerful open source framework designed for large scale crawling. It also handles concurrency, data export, and retries natively. So when you talk about Scrapy or Selenium or uh, Playwright, what makes them different than other libraries in web scraping field is that they have support for retries, which means that basically if for some reason for network lags or something like that, if for some reason the page couldn't be loaded on the first time that you were trying to scrape data from it, it will actually allow a retry, and you can actually configure how many retries you want for each page over there. So it has a steeper learning curve because it operates as a full ecosystem rather than a simple script. Moving ahead to literally know the advantages of using Scrapy, since we will also be using it in our project. So first advantage is the CSS selector and XPath expression parsing. Then is the data formatting and storage. So you can actually make Scrapy return items in CSV, JSON, XML, or even if you configure like text, you can do that. And also, if you want to store that particular items that were rendered or extracted from the particular website, you can use local file system to store them, or you can actually add a S3 bucket configuration. So you can save it on the cloud and then retrieve them later when you need them. Then there is also robust encoding support in Scrapy framework. Other advantages of using Scrapy is that concurrency management. So you can actually configure how many concurrent connections or concurrent instances of a particular browser or request that you want. Then also there is automatic retries, which was already discussed. Then there is also cookies and session handling. And also there are spiders and inbuilt pagination support. So spiders are basically like crawlers that will go from one page to another in a particular website or in a particular domain. So these spiders can be multiple spiders in a particular Scrapy project, and you can actually have um, multiple spiders working concurrently, and without having any failures. So moving ahead, there is also Splash. So, Splash is something special, and what Splash basically is, it is a lightweight headless browser. So designed specifically for web scraping. So it was developed in this language called Lua. So there is also support for Lua scripts in Splash. Unlike a traditional browser, it doesn't show you a graphical interface. Instead, it runs quietly in the background. It is capable of rendering JavaScript and returning the full process HTML to your scraper. So with Splash, you get the complete rendered version ready for Scrapy to parse. The best part about Splash is that it also runs in, it basically is a browser itself. So there has to be some way to actually install it, but it doesn't always come uh, in small size. So you have to run it inside Docker, which makes it easier to deploy, scale, and integrate into larger scraping workflows. You can think of it as your dedicated rendering engine built to make scraping dynamic sites smooth and efficient. One more thing I would like to mention about Splash is that it comes in the form of a plugin library in Python, which is named as Scrapy slash Splash. So, yeah, that is all about Splash. I think one more library that we want to talk about here is Mechanical Soup. So, this is a library that automates interaction with websites, such as filling out forms, clicking buttons, by combining both requests and Beautiful Soup. So, it is basically a better version for Beautiful Soup, and it combines both requests and Beautiful Soup. We can also group these libraries into categories based on what they are and what they help us do. So, first up is the category for core libraries, wherein we are performing fetching and parsing of data from websites or web pages, more accurately speaking. So, in this category are requests, Beautiful Soup, HTTPX, LXML, and there are other libraries in this category as well. But for the scope of this video, we are going to be talking about these much. Then there comes the category for browser automation. These libraries actually help for dynamic or JavaScript heavy sites. So parsing these sites basically involve the user to actually code or program the function to render a particular JavaScript action. So these include Playwright, Selenium, and Request HTML. Then comes the full featured frameworks. So Scrapy and Mechanical Soup are the fully featured frameworks that help us with a lot of stuff, including parsing and JavaScript rendering, etc. So these are the categories summarized.